Welcome to this video where we are going to talk about the points of negotiation you need to talk about with the website hosting your guest post to know that you're going to get the most exposure possible. Now, every website has their kind of editorial rules, so I can't exactly give you precise rules, but I can give you the list of things you need to check for and the things that could give your guest post more exposure or get you more email subscribers, etc. And so the first thing I'd like to talk about in this list is the links themselves. So we do guest posting to get links. It's definitely a major motivation. You can get some really high quality links. You can see I'm on SEMrush right now where I got a link from a guest post from a DA77 site. So it is pretty useful, but there are some rules, right? So the rules are the links do follow or no follow. Now, do follow means that they pass PageRank, and that means that Google will count them in the rankings, and no follow, well, they supposedly don't pass PageRank and Google doesn't count them normally, but really it still counts a little bit. But basically, are they do follow or no follow? What you need to do for that is basically go on one guest post, go on your mouse bar, click on this little highlight link, and then click on followed and no followed basically. And you can see, for example, that in my bio they no followed my backlinks, right? And there is kind of a weird way of them actually putting links, and you can see that they have actually no followed my links on SEMrush. So it's actually not really helping my SEO. It's a little bit annoying for me, and so I should actually be talking to them and be like, hey, can we actually make these links do follow? I am one of your most linked to posts. That's a little bit unfair that you are not helping my SEO. But you can see that even big sites actually no follow external links, which is, I think, not something you should do if you're hosting guest posts. So that is quite important. Now, the next question you need to ask is, are the backlinks inside the content or outside the content? And you can see that, well, outside the content will be in the outer bio. So some websites will only let you put links in the outer bio, and these links are just not as good. And I wish they were as good, but they're just not. And you really want in-context links inside the content, and when it makes sense. So that's what I try to do here. For example, this is an authority hacker link to outsourced content. Be very clear that you're going to be adding links that are adding value. And finally, you need to be a little bit careful with the lower quality sites, because a lot of sites use guest posting to actually steal content. It's a little bit dodgy, but this is how the internet works. They would basically take your content and remove the backlinks at the end. So you need to be observing them a little bit and just kind of like mention it when you talk, like, have you ever removed backlinks from guest posts, etc.? Because some people do that, and their way to get free content is not very ethical, but it happened to me. It actually happened to me on GetResponse as well. Actually, let me just open this post. Here's the guest post I did for GetResponse. And the truth is that actually I put a bunch of links. I talked about opt-in pop-ups back in the day, and now I have a link on that site. And actually, let's see if it's do follow or no follow, but really, they actually removed all the links to Authority Hacker initially. That was very unethical. They literally took my content and put it there, and even though it's a big company, they just didn't get it. So you need to be very careful with that they actually are okay with you linking. That's why I put a lot of importance on you negotiating your links. Be careful, guys. The second one is, are you allowed to put a call to action in your guest post? Now, call to actions are usually here to make your email list bigger, and that's what we call expanded guest posts. And people will be more or less warm to you actually putting a call to action to their readers actually clicking through and signing into your email list. For example, on SEMrush, well, they no follow my links, but actually if you click on that link, you can actually opt in and be part of our email newsletter, and we actually get you on our email list. And if you can do that, especially if you can do a content upgrade, so I did that on Thrive Themes actually. So I created a video that people could watch on one of my guest posts. So basically there's the featured bonus here, like you would see on Authority Hacker. People can opt in, and that is my email list. That is not theirs. And I think there is a call to action at the end as well where people can do that. And you need to negotiate that. I need to be very clear that you're going to be offering a bonus that adds like value, but you're going to be taking people into your email list. Yeah, here we go. If you can do that, and if people actually email their email list that blog post, then you can get hundreds of subscribers. I got like, I think 200 from this blog post. And I think I got like 90 from SEMrush because it's a much less prominent call to action. So you need to be asking for that. If you can do that, take the time to create a content grade if you know that they're going to be emailing. And that is actually the next point of negotiation. Next point of negotiation is promotion. What are they going to do to get your post out there? You can promise that you will promote it. So you can say, hey, I'm going to share it like, 5 times on Twitter, 2 times on Facebook, and on Google+. And even if they're a really big site then, and they have a big email list and you really want them to email it, you can offer to email your guest post to your list. And that means that you send traffic to their site. But in exchange, you want them to actually take their email list and you want them to send that post to them, provided that they like the content. Because if you can combine essentially this with a call to action like you have on Thrive, for example, then you're winning. And I have these fancy pop-ups here, but you could just be linking to a squeeze page if you want. You can link to an opt-in page to your site. It doesn't need to be fancy, etc. It's because it's Thrive and we know each other pretty well. And this is when I use lead pages. This actually will die when my lead pages account dies. So not necessarily the best. I recommend you link to an opt-in page. Try to negotiate a promotion, especially if they have a big Facebook page, especially if they have big Twitters, etc. Ask them how much they're going to share it. Ask them if they can email it to their email list and so on. And feel free to actually give in and give some promotion on your site from your own channels. You could even offer some Facebook ads if you don't have any reach. So if you are allowed to guest post on a big site and you don't really have any reach, but they don't want to email their email list, say, hey, I'll spend $100 on Facebook ads to promote this blog post if you will email your list. And that's going to give you a lot of exposure and a lot of emails. And finally, this last one is very, very difficult to get a yes to. I mean, if you get people to email your guest posts and you can put a call to action, I think that's already a big win. But in very rare cases, people will actually let you put your retargeting code inside the blog post. So in the HTML of the post, you can put, a Facebook retargeting code. And then you can retarget the people on that site that visit that blog post with your campaign and try to convert them into buyers or convert them into subscribers. So if they didn't say yes to the call to action to download something, and if they didn't say yes to emailing, they would not say yes to the retargeting code. But you can always give it a shot. If you really get a yes for everything, feel free to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask, but I only got it twice in my life, so it is pretty rare. I still wanted to highlight it because if you can do that, you can grow pretty nice retargeting lists and eventually advertise to very targeted people. So try it sometimes, and sometimes you get a yes and you'll be happy. So that's basically the points you need to negotiate. I've been rambling quite a bit in this video, so just check below that video. I've made everything in bullet points. It's very clear to follow. Go and negotiate all these things after people have said yes to taking your guest post before you actually spend a lot of time creating something amazing. And based on how much exposure you can predict the post is going to have, based on the promotion you agreed on and the links, etc., well, you can decide how much energy you want to put in that actual guest post. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.